Good morning, class 12. How are you all? Welcome back to the class once again. And in today's class, we are going to begin with chapter number 8 of your book Vistas. And the name of the chapter is Memories of Childhood. Now, unlike the stories that we have done till now, okay, this one goes towards a more serious note, okay, and it happens to be an autobiographical account of two women, and particularly women from a marginalized community. Now, what is a marginalized community? A community that is lesser in number, a community that is away from the mainstream culture. So we will be dealing with incidences of these two women's childhood, and these incidents have somehow left a very, very deep impact on their lives. It changed their their way of thinking, their perception of things completely. So when you will look into the introduction of this unit, you will see that there are two names given here. So one is an Native American Indian woman by the name of Gertrude Simon Bonnen, and she writes with the pen name of Zit Kalasa. And the other happens to be a Tamil Dalit Indian writer with the name Bama. So both these women give us an account of their childhood which was life-changing and which left a very, very strong impact on their lives and completely changed their way of seeing things and their way of living life. So when we will begin with the first account, that is The Cutting of My Long Hair by Zit Kalasa. Okay, so here she would refer about this Carlisle Indian School in America, wherein children of these marginalized communities were taken forcefully from their parents, and they were kept in these boarding schools on account of training them to be part of the mainstream American culture, so that they could blend in like Americans and not like the way they were. So in the case of Zit Kalasa, you will come to know that in her community, in her people, there was a lot of importance of long hair. But when she comes to this particular boarding school, her hair is cut, it is cropped, and this breaks down her spirit, because you will see when we will do the chapter that in her people, in her community, in her tribe, different kinds of hair, sporting of different kinds of hair had a meaning attached to it. So long hair was a matter of pride, and cutting that long hair left a very, very damaging impact on the psyche of Zit Kalasa. And therefore, when you will look into the introduction, you will see that from 1900s, she began publishing articles, and she started criticizing the Carlisle Indian School. So, her life as a Native American woman, and she dedicated her life against all the evils and oppressions that were going for women. So that is one part of the story, that is Cutting of My Long Hair. The other autobiographical account, which is written by Bama, and it has a very, very touching title. It says, We Too Are Human Beings. So Bama comes from a Tamil Dalit background, and we are referring to the times where there was a lot of discrimination in the name of caste. So how does Bama as a child encounter this thing happening to her own self? Or maybe she witnesses something, and then she realizes that this discrimination is so not fair, because we too are human beings, and how does it matter that which caste, which community, where are you born? So again, she is going to give us an episode from her childhood, wherein she will tell us that how this particular incident, changed her way of thinking, and seeing situations around her in her village. and how finally in the end she realized that how can one get over all these things. So basically, in a nutshell, memories of childhood are basically memories of childhood of these two women, Zitkalasa and Bama, and they both come from a marginalized community which somewhere has been oppressed a lot by the people of the mainstream culture. A very important chapter, and as we go through it, I want you to please understand that if somebody is not part of the mainstream culture, it is not a crime, it is not a sin. I mean, as we had studied in our previous chapter, that it's a God-given lineage. In Lost Spring we studied it. So who decides who gets to be born where and how, in which caste? And by the end of the day, does it really matter that which caste or what religion are we from? All that matters is that we should be good human beings. So these two women spend their lives in fighting for this, and while doing so they have given us these accounts, which are not just any other accounts but accounts of their own life. So pain or struggle or trauma or any kind of emotion that was really strong in their heart, that was felt by them, has now been put into words by these two ladies. So join me as I begin with memories of childhood, and keep a pen in hand, as I always say, because there is lots to mark and write down. And I just hope that memories of childhood, by the end of this unit, we shall realize that it is humanity that matters the most and nothing else. So see you soon.